Once upon a time, in a far-off kingdom, there lived a prince named Leo. He was a kind and just prince, loved by all his people. However, he was struck by a deadly curse that caused him to fall ill and weak. The kingdom's best healers and wisest men were unable to find a cure for the prince's illness, and it seemed that all hope was lost. In desperation, the king, Leo's father, called upon the 7 most beautiful and pure virgins in the kingdom to embark on a perilous journey to the evil forest in search of the rare and magical herb, Hybe. The Hybe herb was said to have the power to cure any illness, no matter how deadly, and the king hoped that it would be the key to saving his son's life. The 7 virgins, named Aria, Lila, Sophia, Emma, Olivia, Ava, and Isabella, were chosen for their bravery, kindness, and purity of heart. They were given a map and a compass, and set off on their journey to the evil forest. As they ventured deeper into the forest, they encountered many dangers, including ferocious beasts, treacherous terrain, and dark magic. Despite the challenges they faced, the virgins persevered, using their courage and wits to overcome each obstacle. However, as they journeyed deeper into the forest, the virgins began to disappear one by one. Arya was the first to go, taken by a pack of wolves as she wandered away from the group. Lila was next, falling into a deep pit and breaking her ankle. Sophia was then captured by a group of bandits, and Emma was bitten by a poisonous snake. As the days passed, only 2 of the virgins remained, Olivia and Isabella. They were determined to complete their mission and find the Hybe herb, no matter the cost. Finally, after many days of searching, they stumbled upon a hidden clearing deep in the forest, where the Hybe herb grew in abundance. The 2 virgins gathered as much of the herb as they could carry and began their journey back to the kingdom. However, as they emerged from the forest, they were met
with a surprise. The king had announced that he would marry the first virgin to return with the Hybe herb, as a reward for her bravery and selflessness. Olivia and Isabella were both eligible for the king's hand in marriage, but only one could be chosen. The king, however, had a condition: the virgin who was chosen to be his bride would have to undergo a test to prove her worthiness. The test was simple: the virgin would have to enter the prince's chambers and stay with him for one night. If the prince's condition improved, it would be a sign that the virgin was the chosen one, and she would become the king's bride. Olivia and Isabella were both hesitant, but they knew that they had to do what was best for the kingdom and the prince. They agreed to undergo the test, and the king chose Olivia to go first. Olivia entered the prince's chambers, and as she sat by his bedside, she held his hand and prayed for his recovery. As the night wore on, the prince's condition began to improve, and he eventually fell into a deep sleep. The next morning, the king announced that Olivia would be his bride, and the kingdom celebrated the news. However, as the days passed, the prince's condition began to deteriorate once again, and it became clear that the Hybe herb was not enough to save him. Isabella, who had been watching from the sidelines, realized that she had to act. She snuck into the prince's chambers and revealed a shocking secret: she was the one who had actually found the Hybe herb, and Olivia had been pretending to be the hero. The king was outraged, and he banished Olivia from the kingdom. He then turned to Isabella and asked her to marry him, as a reward for her bravery and honesty. Isabella agreed, and as she entered the prince's chambers, she held his hand.
The prince's chambers, she held his hand and prayed for his recovery. This time, the prince's condition improved dramatically, and he eventually recovered from his illness. The kingdom celebrated, and Isabella became the king's bride. The prince, who had been watching from his bed, realized that he had fallen in love with Isabella, and he was grateful to his father for choosing her as his bride. As for Olivia, she was never seen or heard from again, and the kingdom whispered about the curse that had befallen her for her deceit.